What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? Good morning to everybody on the West Coast. Good afternoon to everybody on the East Coast. It's your boy Benny, as well as OTM Coach B, here with another episode. This is the Curry episode, episode 30 of Out the Mud podcast. Listen, always gonna say it, super appreciative for the love and support y'all give me constantly. The likes, the shares, the subscribes. Keep hitting that link in the bio. Keep showing love because y'all know what we do it for. We paying it forward. I'm sweating because it's hot. And I'm nervous because you see my guest that I got on today. So y'all don't kill me in the comments. But listen, you know we're here to get flowers. You know we're here to pay it forward. And you know we're here to let people smell their flowers while they still here. So I got a special guest for me, and I'm going to make sure I do her podcast, do her intro accordingly. So I'm going to go slow, y'all, so y'all can hear everything because it's kind of long. Okay, so y'all bear with me here. So starting out, we got a graduate of St. Cloud State University with a major in broadcast journalism. In 2019, she accepted a production assistant job for Fox Premier Boxing Champions. She's collabed with various roles with Fox NFL, yes, NFL, MLB, college hoops, and college football. She's also worked with renowned companies such as Ford, Netflix, and Spring Hill. In 2022, she accepted that full-time role as a production coordinator with Fox Sports, as well as coordinated full-time roles with the MLB Draft Night, Red Carpet, and the MLB All-Star Game. She was also just recently a panelist for the Fox Sports Inclusion Council for Black History Month. Shout out to her. And she's going to be at any gym, any fitness center, or basketball court near you. And she's hailing from St. Paul, Minnesota. The one, the only, the lovely Erica Turner, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that was such an intro. I feel like I'm on Club Shay Shay. You know,
Chill.
Wow.
I had to do it right. Just for you. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. This is so nice. I don't know, but first of all, I love your podcast name.
Oh,
and
thank you
Out
so
of the
much.
Mud. I wish I would have thought of it. That's genius. I love this name.
Hey, listen. So you kind of know what the saying means, but it's about us. You know, it's about the past, reflecting on the past, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. And actually, I got the idea because that last post you made when you did you were showing yourself love, and it was like a post about your journey, and I was like, yeah, I need to tap in with her. I need to see what's going on because you're doing it for the Black queens, and that's why you're here. You got it out the mud. Come on, man.
Honestly, did I?
Absolutely. So what I want to start with, Erica, is I want to, the reason why I wanted to do that intro for you is because I just want you to take me through, now that you done heard it, let's just go down this journey together where you waking up, right? You putting your face on, you know what I'm saying? You getting your coffee or whatever, you get into your car, you grab your badge, and you go into the wherever y'all location is at, you drive in the building, you scan your badge, the button turned green, because obviously it wouldn't if you didn't work there, and you look up and you see Fox. What goes through your mind?
Oh, wow. It's very surreal. It's crazy. It's like I'm working at the same lot. It's a Fox lot. So in Los Angeles, there's the Fox lot. So everything's on the Fox lot. We're making movies here. We're making TV shows. There's sports TV. There's Fox News. There's Disney. There's so much happening. And it's like I'm going through the same gates as, some legendary people. Like Angela Bassett, who's working on the lot too. Like there's just so much. So every day when I get to the lot, I'm blessed. It's a blessing. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly because it took a lot to even get to the point where I'm scanning my badge in this building. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a dream come true, but it took a lot to be able to get into that building for sure. Definitely got it out of the mud, and I'm glad. I'm glad I did what I did and did all the work that I've done to get to this point. But we're still growing, we're still evolving, we're still elevating. But
for sure,
it's a dream come true.
So what is the day-to-day like for you? Like, what does that operation look like? I mean, from the minute you wake up to the minute you get into the building to the night, like however long you're there to however long you leave. Like, what is that day-to-day like? Because we want to know. You at the top of the top. So what is that like?
So I am a production coordinator of original programming. So basically, I am coordinating with producers and directors of every daily show at Fox. So we have five, right? So we have the Carton Show, and that's in New York City, and
Mm-hmm.
that comes on very, very early in the morning. And then we have Undisputed, which a lot of people have heard about. And then we have Heard, and then we go to First Things First, and we have Speak. So five shows, two in New York, two in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, my day to day is waking up, checking my emails, making sure that I'm ahead of things for New York City because they're on first and they're 3 hours ahead of Pacific time. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
checking my emails. I'm making sure that everyone is in the positions that they're in, making sure that our talent is getting to and from the studios without any problems, with ease, making sure everybody has what they need to make sure that we have a great show.
Mm-hmm.
If that's like production assistants, if that's producers, coordinating producers, just checking in with everybody, stage managers, wardrobe, makeup, just making sure that everything is handled so that we have a smooth show. And even if it doesn't look like it's a smooth show, it is a smooth show, but it's just, I do that. And then in Los Angeles, I'm still checking my emails, making sure I'm getting to the lot in time to see off like Keyshawn and Michael Irving and Skip Bayless, make sure they have stuff for Undisputed. Basically going through that daily show of everything. So we have
Mm-hmm.
Undisputed, then I'm making sure that Colin Cowherd and Jason McIntyre are ready for the Herd. They have everything they have. The producers have everything that they have. Then we go to First Things First, making sure that they have what they have. And then we basically end the day with Speak. So making sure that they have what they need. If it's props, if it's a goat, if it's a magician, if it's a raven, if it's an eagle, if it's a blinged out icy chain, like it just,
Yeah.
I get it. So that's basically like what I do. And then we basically have contributors
Mm-hmm.
going back and forth from wherever they're going. So, like in New York City, we had Greg Jennings and we had Eric Banchini, the coach of the Jets, former coach of the Jets. So basically, communicating with them weekly on how they're getting to and from the studio, what do they need, making sure that they have basically everything that they have and need, and then coordinating guests, making sure we have our guests on our shows. Like for her, they have a lot of guests. Like if
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf needs to get to the lot, then I'm making sure DK Metcalf is getting to the lot. If we have Meta World Peace on, we're making sure that he has everything that he needs. Sometimes we have our contributors from other Fox shows come on too. So just making sure everything goes smoothly. If it's not, then it's a problem, and then I'll hear about it. But we don't hear about many problems because we try to manage
Now,
it.
for y'all that don't realize what she named a Hall of Famer. She named a future Hall of Famer. She named Hall of Fame during broadcasting. She's named an All Pro. She works with All Pros, and she works with Hall of Fame journals. So for that, they went over y'all heads of the names because I know some of y'all probably don't know these names. She said Michael Irvin and DK Metcalf, and just kind of glossed over who these people are. So you working with some heavy hitters, like
Yeah,
some
and
real
they're
heavy
Super
hitters.
Bowl champions. You can't, Super Bowl champion, two-time
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl champions. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you know Shady gonna make sure you get the 2 time, but
Yeah,
hey, that's
yeah,
Shady.
for sure.
So when you say like making sure everything, because I got a lot of questions because
hmm
I just really like I don't know the game, but I know there's a lot that goes into it. How much preparation when you say like making sure they need this and they need that? How much does that take? Because these are like hour and a half shows, maybe an hour. So like, how
hmm
much of that preparation do you say goes into each show? And is it just one show, or are they doing multiple shows? Like, how does that work in your role specifically?
Okay, so it takes a lot. It's basically a 7 day a week job. It looks like a Monday through Friday on paper, but to make sure that everything is operated smoothly, you got to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that, on Saturdays, travel is set up for Sunday so that no one has any issues. And if they do, then, you're handling that whenever anything happens, any emergency. But pretty much every show is ran differently, right? So we have like Undisputed, which is on for about 2.5 hours. We have Heard that's on for 3 hours. We have Speak and First Things First. They're both on for an hour and a half. Every
Mm-hmm.
show is coordinated. I would say pretty much the same, but ran differently. So every show has a different way that they start their production meetings and how they incorporate notes and facts and statistics and everything. Like everything is ran differently. It depends what show it is, but all of them take a lot of preparation. I know it's just like an hour, but let's say
Mm-hmm.
like for instance, the Herd comes on at 9 a.m. Pacific time, but everyone's in the building at 5 a.m. Pacific time, making sure that they have the production meeting with talent, making sure that they have everything that they need. What are we talking about? What happened yesterday? and basically it takes a lot. But every
Mm.
team is big. You know, you only see two faces on the camera at once, but the team is about 10 people, 15 people on each team, and it takes a lot. And there's a lot of behind the scenes work to make it look as professional and as good as it is. But it
Mm.
takes a lot. It's a lot of not sleeping. It's a lot
I
of
bet.
emails at 3 in the morning. It's a lot of, and the thing about it is like when you're coordinating a show in New York City and you live in Los Angeles, sometimes people are already up before you go in.
Yeah, that's what I was going. Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, all right, I might be 11 o'clock emailing people that have already gone to
They've
bed.
been up. They waiting.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have to get these emails out
Right.
right now. It could be like midnight, but you have to do it because another thing, I've worked so hard to get here. There's always somebody that wants what you have. You know what I mean? So
Who?
you always have to just make sure that you're on your game and like kind
Facts.
of never taking the foot off the brake because there's always somebody who wants, a little bit of what you have or
For
wants
sure.
this position. Anybody would love to be in the same building. You know what I mean? It's so many people, so many opportunities. So it
For
takes a lot.
sure. Yeah, that's definitely going on Instagram. Shout out to you. Um, so let's go back. I want to talk about your journey to Fox. Because I did read that you started as a sports anchor for your local news in St. Paul, if I'm not mistaken, around that area in
Um,
Minnesota.
I started as a production assistant. I had dreams of being an anchor. So
Okay.
I actually wanted to be a sports broadcaster. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted my own show. I used to tell people when I was a little girl, like, I'm going to work in sports TV. I'm going to work in
Mm.
sports production. I'm going to be on air. Kobe Bryant's going to be on my show. Like I had really big dreams, but that didn't work out. And I actually ended up tearing my ACL 3 times and realized
Jesus
that
Christ.
I know, crazy. I used to be an athlete. I'm not anymore. But I tore my ACL and realized I had a love for behind the scenes work of
Mm-hmm.
production. So I kind of just got into that and just stayed there ever since. So yeah, I really started off with Fox as my first big like break.
Mm. When
Yeah.
did journalism become like this is what I want to do? Like when did you start really saying like I want to take it seriously? Was it in like high school, college?
I would say in high school. So
Okay.
I was a basketball player. I was a captain. This is crazy. So I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus during a game. I was on a fast break, got pushed. Lower half of my body was planted. Upper half of my body was still going, completely ripped.
Mm.
And so after that, I was actually named the captain of the team maybe 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes before this happened. And so I had to sit out the entire season and just watch. Right? I
This
couldn't.
was at the beginning of the year.
This is at the beginning of the year. So
Damn.
I had to just sit down and watch everything that was happening. And I realized, like, I could actually see a lot more, from the bench. Like, there's
Right.
always a positive and a negative. I try to find the positive in everything. As
Right.
depressing as it was not to be able to go out there and actually help my team, I figured there's another way I can help and I can see the floor from over here. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized analyzing sports is like something that I really, really enjoyed. And I figured maybe I'll just tap into this. I got an opportunity before that, though. One of my friend's dad, he worked at the local news station, and he
Mm-hmm.
told me if I could drop 30 points that I could shadow one of the sports anchors. And I dropped 29, and I was so mad. So then I came back and I had 32. Right, we came back and won. And
Yeah.
so the next weekend, I was at the local news station, WCCO News. I was able to shadow Mark Rosen, who was a very popular sports anchor, and I was able to shadow him and just see like what he does and seeing that people can sit in a chair and watch sports, then get on and talk about it. I just was sold. So ever since
Mm-hmm.
then, it was kind of like full steam ahead. I'm gonna make this happen some way, somehow. No matter what setback comes in my way, I'm gonna make sure that like I keep, striving towards
Mm-hmm.
my goal. So it worked out, luckily.
Who gave you when you like who connected you with? Was it the person you just named, or was it like you reached out to somebody? Like how did you end up linking Fox? And is that where you wanted to go?
I never wanted to work at Fox Sports. I never even thought about it. It was like as a kid, all you saw was for me, all I saw was ESPN,
ESPN. Yep.
Sports Center, and it's like you go to sleep with the TV on Sports Center, you wake up with it on Sports Center. So it was just like
Right.
ESPN was the goal. So I actually started with taking a risk, right? So Fox Boxing would come to Minneapolis, Minnesota, out of all places, and every 2 weeks there was like a boxing event. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to a boxing event. They had free tickets, so I went, and so I worked my way down to the ring and start talking to people that worked at Fox. And so I was just like picking their brain and, telling them about myself. And I would really love to get into this type of work. I have plenty of experience. I go to St. Cloud State and trying to graduate with this sports journalism major right now. And so basically, what happened was I gave them my information. I was talking to the production manager. I gave her my information, and she said, "We can, connect you when we come back. We're going to be back a lot. If you have
Mm-hmm.
people, friends, you could also bring them if they're hard workers for sure." So we connected, and then actually the following week I was in Dallas, Texas. So it was Fox first pay per view. They reached out. They asked me if I could work. Crazy thing about this story, usually Fox, we don't fly people from state to state.
Yeah.
We just, hire locals that are in that state. So if you are looking for a production assistant job, you can work as a local, as a production
Mm-hmm.
assistant, and then kind of just hopefully get a call back again and get a call back again. So what I
Yeah.
did was I paid for my own flight, I paid for my own hotel, and I was like, you know what, this is going to work out. One day they're going to be paying for my hotels and they're going to be paying for my stuff. So I went down there. I worked as a local, even though I was from Minnesota. I was just
Right.
in the city that week. So I basically worked for them. And it was Fox first pay per view fight. So it was Earl Spence versus Mikey Garcia down in Dallas, Texas. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
stadium, and I didn't know anything. I know absolutely nothing. Basically, going into this was my first, basically my first day at Fox, just on the road
Yeah.
to Dallas. So it ended up working out. I did a good job and made a really good impression, and they called me back for every boxing fight for the next 2 to 3 years. So another thing, like my first day, I met like the VP of marketing. His name is Vernon Cheek, and
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing production assistant work, it's kind of tedious work. It's not very. You're getting coffees for people. You're driving people to and from the hotels,
Right.
picking up people from airports. It's not very. You can reach a ceiling pretty quickly when that you're
Mm-hmm.
doing that type of work. But I met someone, and this is stuck with me from my first day. So he had brought me over to the side, and he's like, "Hey, Erica, do you think it's what you know in this business, or who do you know in this business?" I was like, "Oh, I think it's a little bit of both because you can't be dumb. You
Right.
have to know your stuff, right? And then
Right.
you do have to network. That's a very big, networking can open doors for you, right?"
For sure.
So I was like, maybe it's both. He said, "Yeah, I agree with you, but I think it's who knows you." And
Very
from
true.
that moment on, like, you know what? Just started networking my butt off, networking regardless who it was, exchanging phone numbers, email addresses, and staying in contact with people, thanking people for opportunities that they gave me, following up with people, making sure that they remembered me and I met or made a lasting impression. So it worked out. And I even pass it along to my interns now. It's about who knows you, honestly. So
Mm.
you have to network, you have to meet people because people can open doors that could have been bolted shut. You know what I mean? And like you might need one person to pass
Right.
off to one person, and that could be the start of, you know, your dreams coming true. So that's worked out for sure. And I've been ever since then, I've worked in Fox MLB, word of mouth. They'll call me, they'll email me, "Hey, can you do this?" And even if I was busy, I dropped everything that I was doing and say yes. I never said no to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked out for sure, but I never said no. So it's when it's something you want and you're so hungry, even if it's like the pay is not that great in the beginning, it's like you just do it and then
Right.
things will happen.
So before I want to stay on that subject because you had the initiative to make it happen, and I'm gonna tell you a similar story that I did. It's almost similar to what you had going on. So this is kind of a transparency moment. So in 2016, I had lived in Kentucky. I was in a one bedroom, $400 a month. I had actually it was a coaches convention in Nashville, and similar to your story, I had hardly no money in my pocket. And my aunt actually fronted me like $100, and I was going to ask you like how when you made that move, did you have any support? But she fronted me like $100, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna take that 100, I'm gonna just go out there on my own dime, pay for my own hotel, the whole bit. And those moments right there really teach you about yourself, right? So like it was when you made that move, where did that come from to say I'm gonna just go out to Dallas on my own dime? Was there a was there like a failure? Was it like the ACL? Because I know for me it was I knew my playing career was over. For you, was it knowing that, or was there an internal drive for you to say I'm gonna make this happen? Where does that initiative come from? Because not a lot of people had that.
I think I am just driven and I've always been a hustler. I've always been a go getter since I was just a little girl. I think most of it comes from just growing up and not having much.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you get a taste of a little bit, you're like, I just want more, you know? So just growing up and kind of just not being, I think I was just like lower class. My mom didn't have much. We didn't have a car. We really didn't have much, but we were grateful for everything. But I knew that I wanted more from my own adult life. You know what I mean? I want more. I want the best. I don't know how far I'll get, but I just want to see. And so that was just like the hunger. The hunger just really drove me. And so personally, it was harder because I had a lot of like setbacks, so it's hard to sometimes see past the setbacks when you're in it. So it's like, you have the goal. You can see the finish line, right? But it's
Damn,
like,
girl, you spitting right now. Go
how,
ahead.
how do I get there, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you can't even see past like your situation or how you grew up or anything like that. But just that just drove me and pushed me to want to be better than my environment, to want to be better than what I was given or what I grew up with and stuff like that. So that just like it's just personal for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? I just want to be the best at everything I do. I'm very competitive and I hate to be like the weakest link on the team, the weakest
Mm-hmm.
link, anything. I want to be the best. And that just self drive kind of just pushes me. But in that moment when I decided, you know what, I'm going to fly myself out here, I'm going to take this risk. It was like, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do the best job I could possibly do.
For sure.
And it worked out. So I would say if you are taking a risk, make sure that you just do the best you can do. And you want to make a lasting impression wherever you go, on whoever you're with, whoever you're around. Because, like I said, there's people that can open doors for you. And you can open doors for yourself, but you just have to believe in yourself. And, that's basically what drove me to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You spitting right now. Okay. All right. I see what type of time you on this morning. No, that's great. That's awesome. So I want to ask you some things about your position now because you work with a lot of OGs, like heavy hitters, females in the game.
Hmm.
I mean, Joy Taylor, Jenny Taft, Alex Curry, Charissa Thompson, Aaron Andrews, go on and on and on. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry, y'all. Um, but you work with a lot of heavy hitters. Is there anybody that's took you under the wing? Is anybody that's feeding you advice, or like who are you looking at, or people that you're looking at that you're trying to model your game after? Because I mean, you see Joy practically every day, and she's one of the top dogs in the game. But who are you looking at and saying you're trying to like follow in their footsteps almost?
I would say Joy Taylor. I've watched Joy Taylor forever. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because I used to watch Joy and not work with Joy. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Joy when she was on Undisputed, right? She was on Undisputed. She was like the moderator in the middle. And then she, was growing, continued to grow, or she grew more and she was on The Herd. And then she had her podcast, Maybe I'm Crazy. Now she's got more of a voice. And I love her in her role on Speak. I think it's amazing for her. I think it's tailored, no pun intended, but, straight up for her. So I've watched Joy. I admire Joy. I like seeing the amount of work it goes into preparing every day. She's the first one on the lot every day from
Mm.
the crew. So she's like she puts in a lot of work and time and effort into her job. She takes it so seriously and great things are continuing to happen for her. Yeah, she just got what? She's coming out with a podcast with Taylor
With her
Woods.
and Taylor, yep.
So it's too personal. So there's a lot going on there, and she's just great. She's really nice, really sweet, kind of quiet, but she gets her stuff done. I admire her. But it's really interesting, and not a lot of people know this. I don't know if you know this. I don't really know if anybody knows this besides people who
Is
work in
this breaking news on OTM? Are
this
you
might be
breaking
breaking
news?
news, but a
Okay,
lot
all
of
right.
people in Fox know this already, but not
Oh,
everybody in the real world.
right.
Carissa Thompson is very inspiring. And Carissa Thompson, before she was Carissa Thompson on Fox and Extra and Thursday Night Football and everything that she does, she used to work in HR at Fox. So she used to
Mm.
do HR. She'd take breaks, work on her reel, continue to invest in herself, and take the risk and look at her now. You know what I mean? So it's just like
Right.
I'm kind of influenced and inspired by a lot of women at Fox, and just a lot of women in general. I don't really work with Erin Andrews, but it's like she's like the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she's inspiring just as much as Christina Pink. I worked with Christina Pink a couple of times Thursday night football, especially in Minnesota when the Vikings
Mm.
played. But I would say those women are very, very strong women and very smart women. They know their stuff. They put a lot of time and effort into what they do. So they're very inspiring for sure.
So I'm gonna ask you a not a controversial question, but I think in your profession and just in any profession, it's kind of like I've kind of heard some things. I had some conversations, but I always like to ask females this, especially when they're in your type of field.
Uh
I
oh.
feel I feel like chill, chill. I feel like there's a so with guys, right, with men, we have a way of dialogue. Even when we don't know each other, like what I'm saying, there could be 1,000 guys in the room, pause, and we just we shooting the shit, we talking, we networking, and it's kind of like organic.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same with females, and I would really appreciate if you could elaborate, help me out. What is the stereotype? And that's why I asked you that question about some of the OGs, because when you're in this field and you're around other women that's trying to do what you do and trying to get in on your level, or then maybe vice versa, how's that dialogue? Is there that wall? I feel like that's up, and I'm only asking because I've talked to a couple of females about it, and I've got different answers. Is there that wall? Do you feel that wall? Like I'm not gonna give you a lot. I'm not gonna share that. I'm not gonna, what I'm saying? Why you asking me? Is it that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it that wall? Is that stereotype real when it comes to females and professions sharing information and networking that you feel?
Um, I think when it comes to, well, speaking on my own, this is my own
For sure.
life, but I think that there are women who have a hard exterior when it comes to corporate America, regardless. And so I feel like sometimes as a woman, when you're working in a male dominated space, pretty much, it's just harder to either be yourself, or it's harder to, how do you say, it's kind of just hard. But as women in the sports world, or as women in corporate America, you kind of have to lean on each other,
Mm,
because if we're not supporting each other, then what are we doing? So it's kind of like we should all be able to get along. We should all be able to tell each other our dreams and support each other, and not kind of be, quiet about them, or not discussing with each other or anything like that. I'm not sure
right.
really how to answer that, but I think from my experience at Fox, there's a lot of nice women. We all talk. We all, discuss. It's open. It's free. But at the same time, we're also like trying to elevate, not trying to step on each other's toes. It's a really hard question. I don't know how to answer, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that stereotype is necessarily true. I
Okay.
just think it's true for whoever kind of fits that mold. Does that make
Right.
sense?
No, I feel that, and I appreciate that answer too, because, like I said, I've worked with women. Obviously in the profession, I was a coach, and you're right. Like in a male dominated field, like is there that, like, y'all like this, or is it like you trying to get somewhere, so I ain't really worried about what she got going on type deal. But you're right, if it depends on the person. So then let me ask you this, like, who are your idols? Like, who are you saying, like, that's who I want to be like who's some people that really inspire you?
Well, there's a woman by the name of Terry Hines. She's the vice
Mm-hmm.
president of communications at Fox. So she is very influential and inspiring. And if there was anybody I would want to be like, I would want to be like her. I kind of want to just keep evolving and be in a role where I'm making like the decisions. You know what I mean? I feel like I've come this far. I can get further. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you just have a little bit of taste of it. You're like, okay, I think I can accomplish this. Let's add this to the list. But
Mm-hmm.
she's amazing. She's great. Um, who else? Taylor Rooks is awesome. I think she's great. her personality is just amazing. How she asks questions, how she's able to relate to people. I love her style of journalism.
She's like a chameleon. She could fit in anywhere.
Yeah, literally anywhere. It's just easy for her. So
Yeah.
she taps into just her personality, which is just so easy for her. So I like
Hmm.
that about her. Joy Taylor's awesome too. Um, that's pretty much it. I don't know. I wouldn't say I have idols anymore. I think my biggest idol in life was always Kobe Bryant. Kobe was always my biggest idol. And that's like just the way he attacked working,
Hmm.
his dream, the things he wanted to accomplish. You can always have these dreams, but if you don't have the work, then what good is the dream? You know what I mean? If you
Hmm.
don't have the ethic, the work ethic to go along with this dream, then you might as well kiss it goodbye. If you can't put in the work, then what do you expect to get out of it? So I've always kind of just admired Kobe Bryant and how he attacked basketball, how he attacked everything. And he was never satisfied, and that's kind of myself. It's really interesting because I've always dreamed, right, of getting to this step, of being in this space, working around people like this. But it's just crazy because I never stopped working, but sometimes you don't stop and like smell the roses. I always see this little thing on Instagram or these little memes. It's like in 5 years you'll be where you want or something like that, or 5 years from now you'll have the dreams or something like that. And it's like,
Right.
okay, in 5 years, and I'm always going, never satisfied, that I never stop and I go, whoa, I'm actually living a part of the dream that I dreamed for so long.
That a lot of us wish. Yep.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's humbling. That's why it's so hard sometimes for me to talk about it, because
Hmm.
I'm just very humble, because what thing I do know, it's like what God can give you, he can also take away. So it's like I appreciate the job and I appreciate the journey. I don't get too much into it, talking about it so much, because you don't want to jinx yourself, but I feel like I've worked hard, built enough rapport and networked enough to keep growing. So
For sure.
Kobe would probably be my idol, but for sure.
So you said stopping to smell the roses. I want to stay right there because I want to ask you a question. When did you realize you made it? Like when did you? What was that moment that you said, "Damn, I'm here. I'm her." When was that?
Dang, I think sitting on my balcony looking at palm trees, I was like, wow, this it's not cold out here
Erica.
anymore. I'm not looking at snow. I think just every day.
Erica.
Every
I
day.
asked you when was that moment. I'm thinking you finna say when you saw Tyson Fury, when you was at the
Oh,
Earl Spence fight, when you seen Shady and you seen Joy. You talking about some when I was on the balcony and I saw a palm tree. That's that Minnesota.
man. I was dreaming my whole life to get out of there. I'm sorry.
Yo, you stupid.
I just had to. I'm like, wow,
Oh my god.
I really did it. I can't believe it. But I don't know. Actually, it's a couple moments. I'll get very, very specific for you. So
Okay.
when I felt like I made it, I felt like I made it once I coordinated Super Bowl 2022 for FS1 studio shows.
Hmm.
Well, 2023. So when we went down to Arizona, and
It would be when the Eagles lost. Thanks.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry, we don't have to talk about that. But
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
but no, when I coordinated Super Bowl and I got down there, and it was a live audience. We have guests coming on the show. Well, I saw Patrick Peterson. I'm like, big Viking fan. I'm like, it's just the moment. Like that's kind of when I felt like I made it. But I've
Hmm.
had moments where surreal moments for sure, like Tyson Fury and Fury Wilder 3.
Hmm.
That was a pretty eye opening experience for me too. Like, wow, I think I've made it, but I don't really think I've made it, right? So in a
Hmm.
sense, like put on paper, you look at the job title, you would say, wow, she's made it. But I just am never satisfied that I even have a hard time even saying that. Like, I've made it. But I think every day, just working with the people I work with, I think that's just like I made it. Like having to communicate with Tim Hardaway Jr., for instance, like we
Hmm.
have to, hey, I'm booking your flight. Are you flying out of this? What hotel would you like? Your car is on the way. Do you need this? You need just stuff like that. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm talking to these people. And they're talking to me too. They're probably forced to talk to me, but at the same time, I feel like I've made it from here. But
Right.
I don't know, everything. Working Super Bowl, working Wilder Fury, working Fox NFL remote shows, um, basically being a part of Fox panels for whatever they need me to be. Anything like that. I think it's just like every day I feel like that reassurance, like, wow, I've kind of made it. It's just like a never ending feeling, but I don't know. I've worked with so many people that I'm grateful for it. And I feel like I've made it every day when I go to the lot, right? When I scan my badge, when I'm driving up under the palm trees, under the Fox sign, stuff like that. Seeing people who
Mm-hmm.
walk out the front door. You could be doing your own thing, but you see Matt Barnes walking out the corner. He just finished a podcast for
Mm-hmm.
Tons, all facts, no breaks, or stuff like that. So just every day, it's kind of like a reassuring moment. I've made it. Another moment, I think it was either 2022 or 2023. I believe it's 2022. I felt like I made it when I was able to sit in on a Magic Johnson interview. So Magic Johnson came to the lot, and he was being interviewed by Shannon Sharp, and I'm sitting in this room with them in the back with everybody. It's like 10 of us maybe. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just listening to stories about Magic Johnson, talking about Larry Bird, how Larry Bird's mom said, Magic, you're my favorite basketball player ever, just in front of Larry Bird. Like, just being in the rooms with these people, able to listen to their stories and their backgrounds and like stuff that you would never know just on Google. I feel like that's also another moment like, wow, I feel like I've kind of made it. And now, even with my position, I try to give back. I try to do as good as I can, but I'm also like in charge of our intern class. So we have
Mm-hmm.
4 intern classes a year, 3 intern classes a year. We have 6 interns every semester, basically. So in the spring season, in the summer, in the fall, and like being able to interview people who also have dreams, I feel like that is the part where I'm like, I think I've made it, because I also want to now open doors for people, right? I want
Mm-hmm.
make dreams come true for people too. I was once in their shoes and just needed an opportunity and just needed someone to just see me for the work that
Right.
I'm and just see that all this work I've been trying to do, all these setbacks, all this work out of the mud for sure. Like, can somebody just help me? So I
Yeah.
gotta pay it forward now. And I try to diversify this program. I try to do everything I could do to give people an opportunity and a chance so they can be seen just like
For
I was
sure.
able to be seen myself. So I think that's another moment. I love doing that. I love hearing people's stories and people's why. And yeah, I think there's a lot of perks. Meeting the celebrities is awesome. Meeting the athletes is awesome. I feel like I've made it there, but I also feel like I've made it when I'm in charge of bringing in the best of the best to help us
Mm-hmm.
be successful as well.
For sure. And making sure everybody has a balcony view of the palm trees because we're not going to forget the palm trees.
Yeah. Don't, man. Ooh, ooh, God is good. God is good, y'all. Don't give up on that dream, because you could
Hey,
be out here with palm
can
trees
see the
too.
palm tree. I wish I was seeing palm. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So what was for you? Because this this pod is about always reflection first. What was for you the biggest adversity? Like something that you look back on and say, "Damn, that could have went left. That could have took everything away." I know you mentioned ACL, but is there something else that was the biggest adversity for you that was like, boy, I almost didn't make it. Almost didn't see them palm trees.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta get deep a little bit on this, John. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I think personally, me, it's just I think my being in my own head kind of was my biggest setback. I was always in my own head. I would listen to other people's opinions, people who've never been on the journey that I'm on, people that have absolutely no clue what it's like to work in TV, people who
Mm,
absolutely have no clue what it takes to get to a position like this. And I would always be in my head. And I think I was my own biggest critic and my own setback. I set myself back just with
mm,
my headspace. So I think being able to take the risk, because me coming out here, yes, I got a job, but it was also a risk, right? So
mm-hmm,
I always was like, you know what, before I move somewhere and get a job, I need to make, I need to save 20K, or I need to have 25K in the bank, or 30K in the bank, 10K in the bank, and then I'll take that risk and I'll move and I'll do that. Everything needs to be in order this way before I
Mm-hmm.
can go. And sometimes it might be chaotic, nothing's in order, but an opportunity arises and it's like, I have to jump on that. So even
Mm-hmm.
me coming out here was the biggest hurdle for me. I think that was something that was just hard for me, just to be like, you know what, you've reached a ceiling in production assistant work. You need to take the risk because this opportunity is here. If you don't take it, it might not come around again. And then you'll
Mm-hmm.
be, shit out of luck. So take this risk. And I was
Very
actually
true.
living in Minneapolis. I was working on our final boxing fight, I think Fort Lauderdale, um, Florida was our last one. It was like a New Year's Day fight. And I was like, you know what? When I'm on the road, a lot of people come to me as if I was the boss, and I wasn't. And so I realized
Mm.
like, maybe I need to elevate and put myself in a boss like role, because like people are automatically assuming I'm the boss. So I need to just
Might
be
as
that.
well move accordingly.
Right. So I think I was like, you know what? I got to do something here. So I was still living in Minneapolis at the time. This job for Fox arose. It was there. It was on the website. I was
Mm-hmm.
applying for it, but it was immediate. I got a call back, and I actually had a little bit of assistance connecting somebody that I met. I had to network, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody passed my application to the vice president of production for
Mm-hmm.
Fox and said, "This is the person that you need to be on the studio show side." So that helped me, but I was still
Mm.
in Minneapolis paying a lease. So I was like, okay, I have to take this risk, right? But then I'll be paying rent in two places. That's crazy. So this is
Right.
going to be rough. And LA is the most expensive rent in the world besides, Florida and New York City. But
Mm-hmm.
that was something that was like, oh, if I don't, because of this little thing, then yeah, you just got to make it work. So I took the
Yeah,
risk. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to be in a little sticky spot for the first couple months of me starting out my journey, but this is the beginning to the rest of my life. So I just need to just take this risk. I did not have all the money that I wanted to save in the bank. I did not have anything in order like I wanted to do, but I knew that I needed to take this risk, and I did it. And I've coordinated Super Bowls, we coordinated multiple shows. We are, going to get an Emmy soon. That's one thing that's on the list.
there
Like,
we go.
Emmy is on the way, that's for sure. But it's just like sometimes you have to get out of your own head. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you have to see the bigger picture. Sometimes you might be in what you're in now and you can't even see past it, but you just have to see past it because it will work out. You just have to keep going. So I think the struggle for me was just getting out of my own head and taking the risk and knowing that I can do anything I put my mind to, but I just
Mm-hmm.
have to do it. And so that was kind of hard. But to go back to the ACL, the MCL thing, that was really difficult for me, because it happened again, and then it happened again, and then I got another surgery, and I'm like, why does this keep happening? And it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to just slip back into a very depressive state of mind. I remember hearing Odell Beckham Jr. talk about once he tore his ACL, right? He was like, I
Mm-hmm.
had to pull myself out of a dark place every day because it's so depressing,
For
not being
sure.
able to walk, not being able to use your ligaments, looking over and seeing senior citizens walking with ease, and you're over here going through it mentally, physically. And it's like, you just have to pull yourself out of those places. So pulling myself out of like dark places and knowing that I could do that taught me a lot about myself. And
For
then taking
sure.
risks. You just have to take risks. You can, if you don't, you're gonna be in the same position you were last year. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I was getting fed up with my own self. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something else. I need more to just to feel like fulfilled. So I just took the risk. So I think getting out of my own head and, you know, doing it just helped me out.
For sure. Wow. I mean, we got you hitting body shots, you hitting haymakers, you saying a lot of things that people got here. So I'm gonna ask you these last two questions and get you out of there. I know you got probably got a busy schedule. What is this is a two-part question? What is um the ultimate thing you're proud of, and like the number one thing you say I'm super proud of that, and then what's next? What what is on the plate for Erica that we can hold each other accountable for in this next 5, 10 years, however long. So, what are you most proud of, and what's next for Miss Erica Turner?
I am proud of me. Period. I'm proud of me.
Period. Period.
Seriously, because there's a lot of people who look like me that have dreams, and they're like, how does this work? And like, I'm very proud that I never gave up. I'm very
Mm.
proud that I continued regardless what was thrown my way, that I kept going. Because sometimes you just think like my path is going to be so straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think of setbacks when you're dreaming. You know what I mean? You don't think of it could go this way. I can veer off here. I might, have to do a U-turn. I might get put back a little bit. So I'm proud that I never gave up. But I think the biggest accomplishment so far is having probably one of the smoothest remote shows for FS1 when it comes to Super Bowl. So me and the way I work during Super Bowl week, I'm very proud of that. And our shows did amazing. It looked great on TV. Our team is amazing. I'm very proud of everybody. So I would probably say my Super Bowl accomplishment, because it's the Super Bowl. I don't think
Yeah,
anything gets any
it's a
bigger.
lot of work. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's something I never actually dreamed. Like, I dreamed of working in sports. I never was like, oh, Super Bowl. And the fact that I was able to coordinate one is just wild. What's next for me? I've been talking about this for a really long time. I really want
Hey,
to
let's
start
talk
a gym,
about it.
but I'm like, I also have to get out of my own head, right? And
Mm-hmm.
just do it. You know what I mean? And you're doing it. I gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's obtainable. It's possible. I feel like I've built enough connections with people to have a couple good guests on my podcast. So
Yeah,
I think I could do that. We'll see. It's podcast season. You know what I mean?
it's podcast season. Turn me up. We gotta get to it. We got listen. Come up with a name. We could work. We could work it out. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? And y'all know your bag way more. Your bag different than mine, so you can get you a short mic. You know what I mean? We work in progress with the short mic. You can get you a short mic. You can make it work.
I need a mic. I need a mic. The thing
So I'm
is, it's
saying,
so hard. It's finding a name for a podcast to me is the hardest part. You have everything, right? You have
yeah.
the guests, you have the tea, you got the facts, you got but
Mm-hmm.
with the name, did it come easy for you?
Yeah, actually, it did. Like, it was weird. It just kind of like popped in my head one day, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Out the mud. Wrote it down. My man did my logo, and there it was.
Wow. Okay. See, I have to figure out a name. Once I get a name, I'm gonna
It's
get it.
literally gonna happen. It might even happen at the gym. You go to the gym a lot, so you might be on like your third set, and it just be like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah,
But
I'm
it's
gonna
gonna be
figure it
something that's around you. Like, it's gonna be something that when they hear it, they're gonna be like, "Okay, like that's her joint." Like,
out. I'm just so mad that I didn't think of Out of the Mud, because like, why? This is such a perfect podcast name, because
I
everybody literally
appreciate
got it
that.
out of the mud, literally.
Facts,
So I
facts.
think
That's why you're
it's a
here.
great
That's why you're here. Well, I appreciate you for one. I appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate you for even accepting the offer. Um, and yeah, I mean, you standing on business for the Black Queens. Um, you know what I'm saying? If there's one thing I could tell you, I know you said you in your own head, but you just stay consistent and you block out the noise. You know, I always tell people, I used to tell my players, you driving in the car and you didn't hit both side view mirrors. They off. There's no reason to look left or right. You only focused on what you got going on in front of you, and you in your own lane, drive your own speed limit, and you doing it, sister. You were
name.
doing it. You doing it, child. You were doing it.
Thank
I'm
you.
super proud of you for real. And I mean, so it ain't like not me to just not plug it in, but like, could a brother could you put me in with Joy and Shady, or do I got to show up to the Fox lot looking like Martin from Varnell Hill? Like, how are we doing this?
Racking up. I knew this was coming. I was wondering
Like,
when. I was like, it's coming.
hey,
It's
you know
coming.
what I mean? Before I get you out of here, like, you know what I'm saying? Or do I got to show up like Varnell Hill?
What do you want? You want a lot tour?
No, I mean, listen, I'll do the lot tour. I'll do sit in the back, watch a show. You know what I'm saying? I'll shake a hand with Shady, get a pick, or with Joy, chop it up. We do a pod. However you got to network it, get them on the pod. They can get it out the mud. I'm an Eagles fan for Shady. I've been watching Joy for years. You tell me how you want to network it.
We're
I'll
gonna
be
figure it
around.
out.
Send what info.
We're gonna figure it out. Shout out to Shady and Joy. I hope you guys are enjoying your vacation. It's been
For
a
sure.
great week with my phone being silent. I'm just say that. Miss you guys though. See you
For
Monday.
sure. Oh, y'all start back on Monday?
Yeah, shows are
Okay.
so for us. Once Super Bowl is over, it's vacation time for everybody. 18 weeks. Like the season's 18 weeks, but when it's our Super Bowl, it's obviously longer.
Mm-hmm.
We have the NFC Championship game that's on Fox every single year as well. But
Mm-hmm.
once it's 18 weeks is over, everyone's pretty much just dragging to get to vacation. So when our shows are dark, all of them in LA are dark, means no shows. So
Yeah.
everyone's on vacation, chilling. So everyone's been on vacation, and we start back on Monday. So we'll have good shows and hopefully some stuff to talk about. But that's another thing about production. Once football's over, what do you talk about?
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah, it's slow. We're
It's
gonna
slow.
dive into the NBA season. Shout out to the Timberwolves right now, my team. You know,
Oh yeah, they is number
right
one in the
now.
East. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Word.
yeah, yeah. I don't know
Do
what's
they
happening,
thing.
but I know that we're going to playoffs, and I'm just blessed. Just finally, we're doing something good.
You not when you going back to Minnesota,
Would you
or
say?
do you even go back? When you going back home?
I go back every once in a while, but normally in the summertime when there's absolutely no snow, no black ice, nothing
Yeah.
that would make me upset. So I go once a year unless I need to go back and like see family for like family stuff, but
For
not very
sure.
often. I like LA. It's nice. It's
Oh,
just,
we
you know,
know.
the sand in the water. You just don't want to go anywhere else.
Oh man. Well, listen, I appreciate you. We wrapping up here. Anything you want to, plug? Anything, your podcast that's coming? Do we got a date set? Do we got a location?
Ooh.
You want anybody else you want to shout out personally before we get out of here? This is your moment. You go ahead and express it because we appreciate it.
Ooh. Shout out to Fox. Thanks for employing me. You guys did your big one on that one. Let's see. Shout out to everybody on our teams. You guys work really, really hard, and we wouldn't be anywhere without the production assistants, the broadcast associates, the producers, the BAs, the everything. Let's see. Shout out. I don't know. I'm not big into shout outs. I don't know. But maybe when I come back with this podcast, we'll have to circle back. Or maybe once I win my Emmy,
Hey,
I'll
there
come
you
back
go.
on here and I'll have it right next to me and we'll circle back with a
There we
she
go.
did it episode.
Well, we are manifesting that Emmy here on OTM, man. This is episode 30. You know who it is, Benny OTM underscore Coach B with the lovely Miss Erica Turner. Thank you, Queen. We appreciate you. Make sure y'all follow, like, and subscribe. And make sure y'all check me out on Fox somewhere. I'm gonna be in the building in the back, chilling, being cool, and then hopefully get a podcast with Joy Shady. We not saying no, we just gonna plug it in. But shout
Yeah,
out to
we
y'all.
have to work on that. We gotta work on that. You can set up a tour though.
There
When
we
you're in
go. I'll
LA,
do the tour.
yeah, let me know when you're in LA. We'll try to work it out.
I'll do
Talk
the
to
tour. I
Sadie and we'll
appreciate
say we got an Eagle fan here, real ride or die Eagle fan here.
it. For sure, for sure. I got you. Me and Slim gonna pull up. I'm gonna flying on one of his wings and shit. He probably got free flight. But
Ooh.
yeah, man, we out of here. With Team Coach B, out of here. Another episode. We in the books.